Easy. Half of June.
Assume he's not. We're gonna assume Joey's not coming. Yeah. Coaching. Not even that good.
He called it the council meeting.
Oh, so you're running him off?
Are we that bad?
I think it just kind of threw everybody off because last week there was an extra week in March. So we'll see him next.
I thought maybe you ran him off. All right, you guys ready? We're on, right? We're on. All right, let's go ahead and get started this evening with the City of Centerton Planning Commission, April 7th, 2026 with the roll call.
Jeff Seyfarth,
I'm here.
Joey Engel, Tony Davis,
Sorry
sorry for the interruption. Ben Lewis, Devin Murphy,
Here.
Curtis Ramsey,
Here.
Alan Sessoms,
Here.
Brandon Swoboda.
Here.
All right, first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our planning meeting of 3/17/2026.
John, I motion to approve the minutes, 3/17/26. Devin, a second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, next on the agenda is the ratification of the admin approvals. They are all home occupations. Looks like the bakery, one does some kind of publishing. There's some kind of trash valet and an online purchasing and resale. Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners and or staff in regards to the admin approvals? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve the admin approvals.
This is Ben. I make a motion to approve the admin approval.
Tony, a second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, two items under old business this evening. The first one is Development 2306 Dunes at Prairie Valley. Extension of preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement approval. It is at 1121 Kimmel Road. It is zoned R4 multifamily, just over 21 acres, 23 buildings, 562 units. Is the applicant here to just give us a quick overview what you're requesting?
Yes, my name is Libby Topping with Craft and Toll. I'm the engineer of record. We're just requesting an extension of the project because we were delayed for construction without sewer capacity. But now that sewer capacity is opening up shortly, we'll start construction shortly. And then the street agreement letter we finalized based on our finalized plans.
Kayla, do you want to give us a staff overview?
Yes, so the applicant is requesting a 1-year extension of approval of development plans for a multifamily development on Kimmel Road and Buckhorn Flats Road. The development will include 562 residential units within 24 residential buildings. The development has 2 approved PUDs, one for each parcel. So that's PUD 2302 and PUD 2401. The property has access to water along the north side of Kimmel Road and along Buckhorn Flats. There is sewer along the north side of Kimmel Road, and the parcel is within a floodway. And I believe they have gone through their flood requirements already. So this project was previously approved by the Planning Commission on 4/15/2025 and has not been able to start construction due to sewer constraints. On March 11th, 2026, the applicant submitted a plan set to update the building footprints to newer building models, which required some changes to the site. The site changes included a slight redesign of the northwest corner of the site, which included the reduction of units by 2 due to the clubhouse and fitness areas being moved to buildings 1 and 2, the reduction of 1 parking space, and site changes to account for the new location of the buildings, like minor shifts in like the utilities and grading. Staff is currently awaiting a resubmittal of the plans to ensure that they comply with all PUD requirements. But the extension request letter is in your packet. The approved adjacent street agreement is in your packet, and then I included the site plan from the previous approved plans and the new plans just so you guys can see what changed.
This one's the previous. I have up there now.
But if it doesn't, if
This is
it doesn't meet, then we would see them back again.
Yes, so their redesign, they'll have to resubmit plans to make sure they meet with all of the PUD requirements. And if they do not, they'd have to amend their PUD and it would be a whole thing again.
Okay, all right. Did you want to say something? Sorry.
I was just gonna, that was the old one and then the other one was the new.
Okay.
Backwards.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
No big deal.
That one's
That's the new
new.
one.
Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners? If not, they are requesting the extension of the preliminary plans and the adjacent tree agreement. If there's no questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion for the extension request.
John, a motion to approve the extension request for development 2306 and adjacent street agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is development 2412 Stoneley Apartments Phase 2. This is the extension of the preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement approval. It is at 501 East Centerton Boulevard. It is zoned R4 multifamily. 6.28 acres, 4 buildings, 113 units. Is the applicant here with the request?
Double check. Yes, to talk.
Who is it?
Jared.
Sorry,
Jared Inman- Oh, hey, Jared Inman with Jorgensen and Associates. This project's, it's not any different than what y'all have seen before and what y'all have approved. It's just basically waiting on the sewer capacity or this capacity of Decatur and the internal city sewer issues to be resolved, and then this thing will be ready to go to pre-con. We're just asking for an extension because we ran out of time.
Kayla, staff overview.
So like you said, they're requesting a 1-year extension of preliminary approval for development plans for a multifamily development on East Centerton Boulevard. This is Stoneley Phase 2, so it's just west of the original Stoneley. The development includes 113 dwelling units, multifamily units, within 4 apartment buildings. The preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement were originally approved by the Planning Commission on April 1st, 2025. Since then, all remaining staff comments have been addressed and the development has been unable to start construction due to sewer constraints. And the approved plans and adjacent street agreement are in your packet for you.
Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners? If not, then I would entertain a motion for development 2412 with the 1-year extension for both the preliminary plans and the adjacent street agreement approval.
This has been, I'll make a motion to approve 2412 Stoneley Apartments extension of preliminary plans and street agreement.
John, a second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Thank you, Jared. All right, next on the agenda under new business, we do have 4 public hearings this evening. The first public hearing is for a conditional use. This is for conditional use 2602 Spencer short-term rental. It's at 871 Reading Railroad Lane. It is zoned R3 single family. And it's lot 325 of the Featherston Village subdivision. Is the applicant here to give us an overview? He'll just come up and just give us a quick overview of what you're requesting. Your name and then what you're requesting, please.
Madison Spencer, and I'm just requesting a short-term rental, just like an Airbnb or.
Okay. Kristen?
Alright, the applicant is requesting a conditional use for a short-term rental, use 86 bed and breakfast / homestay. The property is 0.07 acres and is lot 325 in phase 2 of the Featherston Village subdivision, which is located at 871 Reading Railroad Lane. Per the applicant, the purpose is to convert the residence into a short-term rental to maximize income. There are no structural changes proposed. The home is 801 square feet consisting of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. It is zoned R3 single family, medium high density single family with PUD 1902. This area is intended for detached single family dwellings with a suitable lot area, and the setbacks are listed in your packet. The surrounding zones and uses, the property is surrounded by R3SF zoning in the phase 1 and phase 2 of the Featherston Village subdivision to the north and west. The adjacent property to the east is zoned R4 MF, future dunes at Prairie Valley, and the property to the south is zoned A1. For utilities, the home is connected to center water and sanitary sewer. Access and parking. The property can be accessed from Kimmel Road to the north and Womack Road to the west. All streets in the Featherston Village subdivision are private streets with no sidewalks. Pedestrian trails are located at the rear of the interior lots and within the common areas. The existing driveway provides 2 uncovered parking spaces. No on-street parking is allowed within the subdivision. However, there is designated guest parking on the north side of Reading Railroad Lane, directly across from the property. The applicant stated they will accommodate a maximum occupancy of 4 guests. And the site maintenance is the responsibility of the property owner, or the applicant property will be managed by the property owner. Covenants, the covenants for Featherston Village do not prohibit leasing or renting properties within the subdivision. The rental agreements shall comply with all applicable laws and zoning requirements. The covenants are a private agreement made between the POA and residents and are not enforceable by the city of Centerton except for the sections that expressly name the city, such as for term of approval, we recommend, or the term of approval is recommended for an indefinite period of time from the date of approval of this use permit expires upon discontinuation of the approved use after 1 year and will require reapplication and reapproval. The conditional use permit is for an indefinite period of time or upon the discontinuation of the approved use and will require reapplication and reapproval. Fire extinguisher, the home shall have a mounted fire extinguisher, and the general conditions are listed in your packet. They did meet their public hearing requirements as well. No.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open it up to the public?
The other properties in that neighborhood, did we do an indefinite on their conditional use as well, same time frame? Yes.
Curious about the visitor parking. Is that a permanent setup, or when they develop those lots, is that going to?
It's permanent setup. There's actually striped park.
Yeah, I see them. It looks like there's enough there to put another house, so I didn't know if it would disappear once that was done.
No.
Can you go to the aerial that shows that?
I think it was part of the design
Yeah.
of that because of the narrower streets and
Makes sense.
design, yeah.
Sort of. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. They have various on-street designated parking in the neighborhood, and you have to be lucky enough that it's right across the street.
If there are, let's see, I will go ahead and entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
John, a motion to open the public hearing for conditional use 2602.
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. We are now open to the public. For anyone that wishes to make a comment, have any questions or comments for the planning commission, feel free to approach the podium. We'd ask that you state your name, address, and any questions, comments, or concerns that you might have. Second call for anyone that has any questions, comments, or concerns. I do have a letter to read, so don't close the hearing. But third and final call for anyone who wishes to speak. I will read this letter. I'll paraphrase it. This is from Mr. Hodges. I don't have an address. I'm assuming he lives in the subdivision, but states he won't be able to be at the meeting this evening.
The property to the south.
Okay, thank you. He says there's no real, he does ask for us to decline it. just kind of questions the purpose and whether there were any others in the neighborhood, things like that. So that's the what he suggests in his email, and he asked that it be declined. And then with that, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
John, I motion to close the public hearing, conditional use 2602.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? If not, then I would entertain a motion for the conditional use 2602 for the Spencer short-term rental at 871 Reading Railroad Lane.
This is Tony. I make a motion to approve conditional use 2602 at Spencer Street. Or I'm sorry, at 871 Reading Railroad Lane.
Second.
Motion and a second. If you'll do a roll call for me, please.
Swoboda,
Yes.
John Sessoms,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Ben Lewis,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yes.
Jeff Seifert.
Yes as well. Thank you. Good luck. All right, our second public hearing this evening is rezone 2601, the King Trust, requesting to rezone from A1 to residential estate at 13301 LC Hickman Road, 5.94 acres. Yeah, here's the applicant here to give us an overview. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Dustin Higgins with Half. We prepared a lot line adjustment that created this parcel. Since it's less than 10 acres, it needs to be rezoned from A1. We're proposing to rezone it to RE. And answer any questions.
Christian?
This parcel is located on LC Hickman Road, west of North Tycoon Road. The abutting properties to the north, south, east, and west are agricultural, being used as residential or undeveloped. Further to the east, across North Tycoon Road, is Edgewood Estates subdivision. To the northeast is Brook subdivision, phases 1 through 5. Further south is Huber Place subdivision, phases 1 through 2, and future phases 3 through 4. There is an existing residence and accessory structure on the property. This property has access from LC Hickman Road. This rezone is required due to a concurrent property line adjustment, MP 26-01-PLA, that created a parcel less than 10 acres, which is the minimum for A1. The requested zoning RE residential estates. This zoning district is intended to provide for and protect the rural residential environment. It is established for areas particularly suited for rural residential uses on larger lots in conjunction with the raising of crops and animals and other related activities. And the setback requirements are in your packet. For streets, this parcel is off LC Hickman Road. It is designated as a major collector with right-of-way of 80 feet per the master street plan. Major collectors provide access to arterial roads, neighborhoods, parks, schools, and small commercial areas. They balance land across access with mobility and direct traffic to the transportation grid. Minor collectors restrict access where current development inhibits connectivity and where the street grid spacing is not maintained. Currently, 30 feet of right-of-way has been dedicated along LC Hickman Road from this property. 10 feet of future right-of-way for LC Hickman Road is shown on the concurrent property line adjustment plat approved at the Planning Commission meeting March 17th, 2026. For utilities, Centerton Water is available to the property. There is no sewer connection available within 3 feet, and the existing house is served by septic. The adopted comprehensive plan. Per the land use plan, this area is designated as high density residential, which consists primarily of townhomes, apartments, condominiums, senior housing, special types of group living, and workforce housing with a density of at least 11 units per acre. High density residential development should be encouraged along key corridors and surrounding the new downtown center to support nearby commercial uses. This parcel is located in Node 5 on the Growth Accommodation Plan. Node 5 is an area that, along with Area 6, should eventually provide the greatest mix of new housing options in the city. This section of Centerton has the planned infrastructure to support denser housing from low, medium density residential, high density residential uses. Denser development in this area can provide more choices for future employees of the industrial park on Tycoon Road. Staff findings: the proposed rezoning to residential estate is not consistent with the comprehensive plan. The property is designated high-density residential on the adopted land use plan and located within Node 5, both of which support higher density housing to provide a mix of residential options and serve nearby employment areas. Surrounding zoning and existing uses: this property is surrounded by A1 on all sides. The surrounding properties are either undeveloped or being used for residential purposes. Staff findings: based on the current surrounding development in this area, the rezone request for RE is consistent with the surrounding uses and zonings. The comprehensive plan alignment for planning commission's consideration: the proposed rezone is not consistent with the following implementation items in the Centerton comprehensive plan. Item 25, provide the greatest mix of new housing options for the city in this area, characterized by Tycoon Road and Huber Road. It is not consistent.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners before we open it up to the public? And with that, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
On a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, we are now open to the public. If anyone wishes to speak in regards to rezone 2601 for the King Trust. Again, the rezone request is from A1 to residential estates. Have any questions, comments, or concerns? We'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address, and then any comments or concerns.
My name is Tyler Thompson. My address is 1404 Autumn Ridge Way, Cave Springs. I'm the controlling trustee for the property, and this is the first move in a move to make it more consistent with your future plan use map. So we're going from 13 acres to 6.95, I think, or 5.95, to open up more land for development in the future. Any questions for me?
No. Thank you.
My name is Genevieve Litchfield. I live at 13230 LC Hickman. I'm opposite this change. I have not ever attended something like this, and I have not experienced this before, so I do have some general questions. Does this mean that this lot is being opened up to, what was it, 11 houses per acre or something? Is that what is planning for this?
Not necessarily. So we can pull up, I mean, essentially what they did was they split some property. And when they split property, it became what we call non-conforming, because to be agriculture, you need at least 10 acres. And so they're rezoning it to be compatible, but still residential and what we would consider a large parcel for residential. So that's what our estate designation is for a larger parcel for residential, if that.
The striped area is where the King's house is, right?
Yes.
Currently, 'cause
Yes, the striped area is what's being requested, yes.
does in the others unstriped, but still.
Let me go back and look things. To automatically share it.
We asked Diane to start moving stuff.
I know.
That other little rectangle right next to the striped area, that's where there's a pond. Is that the area that I'm correct?
It's outside the other long parcel, but yes, it's in that brown area.
So it's.
Yeah, like here's the house.
Ponds in the other little section. Okay. Okay, so the striped area is where the current house is, and they're not asking to have that developed and broken up into 1,000 homes. Is that?
They're asking
That's
for,
gonna keep that.
yeah,
That
asking for
they're
what?
opening up the rest of it to potentially be developed into.
What's the other one that's, the other one that we split? Is it still ag or?
Still ag.
It's still agricultural.
It's a property line adjustment, so they're basically adding it to the rest of their property that they own. They just move the property line of the two parcels. They didn't split anything. It's not creating a second parcel.
Getting rid of this one.
It's still residential and it's what we call estate. So it's for someone that wants a larger parcel, but not more than 10 acre or not 10 acres or more.
This little red X area would be part of this larger piece.
That red X would become the A1.
Right.
That area could potentially be sold off.
Now it's A1, which is agriculture.
It's just that striped strip is where their current house is, and they're just closing that off for their own use kind of thing.
Yes. And if anything else around there, is going to be developed or any of that, then it would be the same process. They would still come here and there's notifications like you received on this one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else that wishes to speak or have any questions or comments? And third and final call. Then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
This has been, I'll make motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Motion and a second. Is there anyone that's opposed? All right, let's go through the findings that we need to go through. The first thing is the rezoning consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan, including the adopted land use plan? If not, why? And so I'll explain a little bit more here. Maybe this will kind of see the bigger picture. Okay, so we have a plan that's over on the wall, and that plan is what we adopted as a city about the future of the city, potential land uses and things like that. So that's something that we've adopted. That's our guide. There's also, I don't think the street, but we also have a master street plan that's over there as well that kind of plots out streets and things like that. So part of that's all of this discussion, just so you have a little bit more information. So is the rezoning consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan, including the adopted land use plan? If not, why? And, technically, if we look at it, it's not. But that doesn't mean that we make a consideration of it, but based on the fact that it's, kind of a denser use, it doesn't mean that we're changing it to anything other than residential. So based on this, then we would say it's not. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay. Is the proposed rezoning compatible with the surrounding area and zones? And I do think that it's compatible. It's still going to be a residential use. And so I do think that it would be compatible. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Would all the permitted uses in the new zone be compatible in this location and the surrounding areas? And again, because the request is for estate residential, I believe that it's I believe that it would be compatible. Does everybody agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Would the rezoning provide a benefit to this landowner but not be considered for other similar properties in this area? And I do not think this is provides any benefit that we wouldn't consider for any other properties. Does everybody agree with that? And if the public is opposed, why? And there were no objections according to more questions than anything. So really no objections based on the public. Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? If not, then I would entertain a motion for rezone 2601, the King Trust from A1 to R.
Then I'll make a motion to approve rezone 2601 King Trust from rezone A1 to RE.
Okay. Motion and second. If you'll do a roll call for me, please.
John Sessoms,
Yes.
Ben Lewis,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Brandon Taboda,
Yes.
Jeff Seifarth.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you. All right, our next public hearing that's on the agenda is for rezone 2602, 12 Stone Construction and Design. The request is from C2 to R3 single family. This is at Bliss Street and Keller Road. It is 6.92 acres. How are you tonight?
3040 with RIE Engineering. This is a request for rezoning it back to what it was previously, R3 single family. And the reason is we looked at several design options for this commercial, but it just didn't lay out well in that portion. And so we would rather go back to something that we could just add 3 single family lots in that area along with each. And that was the item.
Sarah, will you give a staff overview?
Yes, this specific section of the property that they're looking to rezone is 1.5 acres. It is on the southeast corner of Bliss Street and Keller. And they met all of their public notice requirements and received no public comment outside of what might come to you tonight. To the north is the Skyline Cottages that are zoned R3SF. To the east is Foxhaven Phase 1, which is zoned R3SF. And to the west across Keller Road, it's Crystal Cove Townhomes.
Hey, guys. Sorry, the microphone picks everything up, so I appreciate it. Go ahead, Tara. Thank you.
To the west across Keller Road is Crystal Cove Townhomes Phases 1 through 3, which was zoned RTH-MF12, which was prior to the zoning update to RTH-5. And then to the south is the Centerton Water and Sewer Department. You have seen this property previously with 2 other rezones, with rezone 2409 and rezone 2503. This property has access from both Bliss Street and Keller Road. The requested zoning is for medium high density single family, which is R3SF, which is an area intended for detached single family dwellings with a suitable lot area. The building setbacks requirements for R3SF are in your packet. The parcel is off Keller Road. It is designated as a minor arterial of 90 feet of right of way, and Bliss Street, which is designated as a major collector with a right of way in 80 feet for the master street plan. Major arterials are roadways that serve as the main spine within the community and connect to adjacent communities, key destinations, and the overall region. Major collectors provide access to arterial roads, neighborhoods, parks, schools, and small commercial areas. They balance land access with mobility and direct traffic to the transportation grid. Currently, 40 feet of right-of-way exists along both Keller Road and Bliss Street, and an additional 5 feet of right-of-way will need to be dedicated along Keller as part of the subdivision. Centerton Water and Sewer are available from existing lines along Keller Road and Bliss Street. Per the land use plan, this area is designated as medium high density residential. These areas encourage greater variety within Centerton's housing stock and allow for more flexibility to build denser residential development in proximity to the city's major roadways, such as Centerton Boulevard and Highway 102. This parcel is located in Node 6 of the Growth Accommodation Plan. Node 6 is considered an area that will expand Centerton Boulevard to the west towards Decatur in a manner that can efficiently and effectively accommodate the significant population influx of the city. The city is expecting well beyond the life of this plan. The number of housing options will also help support the commercial center at the intersection of Centerton Boulevard and Highway 279. Based on the goals outlined in the comprehensive plan, the request to rezone the subject property to R3SF, which is the medium high density single family residential, is consistent with the city's long-term growth plan. Both zoning designations support the anticipated population growth, offer a variety of housing options to meet community needs. As for the surrounding zones, to the east is Foxhaven's Phase 1. As stated before, it's R3SF, and it has a density of 3.54 units per acre. To the west is Crystal Cove Townhomes, the RTH-5 zoning with a density of 6.48 units per acre. To the north is Skyline Cottages, which is zoned R3SF, with a density of 6.23 units per acre with a PUD. And to the northwest is Kenyon Place, which is zoned R3SF with a density of 3.6 units per acre. Based on the current surrounding development in the area, the rezone request to R3SF is consistent with the surrounding uses and zonings based on the density in the area, as the maximum units per acre for R3SF is 6. For Planning Commission's consideration, the proposed rezone is
Is not consistent with the following implementation items in the Centerton Comprehensive Plan, and those are listed below for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.
Questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open up to the public?
One thing I would say is that we looked at it before with the rezone, when it was commercial with the driveway separation requirements, the commercial, the residential, and then it's for Bliss and Kenyon. There's not enough driveway separation to make all of that work. That severely limited the commercial that was there. So this is more pulling it into that subdivision.
With that, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? We are now open to the public. If anyone wishes to speak, have any questions or comments in regards to the request for a rezone 2602, 12-zone construction and design from C2 to R3 at Bliss and Keller, we'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name, address, and any questions or comments that you might have.
Good evening, Joe Marcus with Soul Consulting, 700 Hostel. I'm here to present the rezone from A1 to C2, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commissioner have.
We're not quite there yet. Hold on just a second. You can go ahead and have a seat. We need to finish this one up real quick, okay? It's okay. Second call for anyone who wishes to speak. Have any questions or comments? And third and final call for any questions or comments. Then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Let's go through our considerations. The first one. The rezoning consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan, including the adopted land use plan, if not why? And I do believe that it's consistent. Does anybody disagree? Is the proposed rezoning compatible with the surrounding area and zones? And I believe based on the residential around that it is compatible. Does everybody agree with that? Would all the permitted uses in the new zone be compatible in this location and the surrounding areas? And I do think that it would be compatible. Does anybody disagree with that? No. Would the rezoning provide a benefit to this landowner but not be considered for other similar properties in this area? And I do not think that it does. Does anybody disagree with that? And if the public is opposed, why? And there were no questions, comments, or concerns from any of the public. If there are no other questions or comments from the commissioners, then I will entertain a motion for rezone 2602, 12-zone construction and design. Rezone from C2 to R3 single family at the corner of Bliss and Keller Road.
I motion to approve rezone 2602.
Second.
Motion and a second. If you'll do a roll call for me, please.
Yes.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
John Sessoms,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yes.
Ben Lewis,
Yes.
Jeff Seifarth.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you. Good luck. All right, next on the agenda this evening is also a public hearing. This is for rezone 2603 RMC 102 Centerton LLC. A rezone request from A1 to C2. This is West Highway 102, 2.2 acres.
Apologies, I thought that the other case was already closed, but yeah, Mark Cruz with Soul Consulting, 700 Hostel. We're here to present the rezone from A1 to C2, and I'll be happy to answer any question from the commissioners.
Thank you. Christian?
This parcel is located on the south side of West Centerton Boulevard, east of Keller Road and the future Wade Road. The properties to the south, east, and west are agricultural, being used as residential. The property to the north is zoned commercial. There are existing structures on the property. This property is accessed from West Centerton Boulevard. The requested zoning C2 highway commercial is intended for those businesses which cater to the highway traffic, such as service stations, drive-in restaurants, motels, supermarkets, and similar businesses. And those setback requirements are in the packet. Streets, this parcel is off West Centerton Boulevard, which is designated as a major arterial. With right-of-way of 100 feet per the master street plan. Major arterials are busy roadways that serve as the main spine within the community and connect to adjacent communities, key destinations in the overall region. Minor arterials support major arterials and often intersect with major arterials. Centerton water is available to the property. There is no sewer connection available within 300 feet. Per the comprehensive plan, this property is a part of the Highway 279 section of the Centerton Boulevard corridor, which includes a mix of housing, commercial, industrial, and employment uses. As the main corridor in the city and the strongest commercial district, Centerton Boulevard is a unique area that will continue to drive commercial activity and support residential growth throughout Centerton. This property is designated as Business Park, which is intended to provide for professional employment and office uses, which could include standalone office buildings and complexes consisting of several buildings incorporated into a campus-like setting. Staff findings, the proposed rezoning to C2 is consistent with the comprehensive plan as the property is designated as a business park. For surrounding zoning and existing uses, the properties to the south, east, and west are A1 agricultural, being used as residential. The property to the north is zoned C2 and is undeveloped. Based on the current surrounding development in this area, the rezone request for C2 is consistent with the surrounding uses and zonings. The comprehensive plan alignment for Planning Commission's consideration, the proposed rezone is consistent / is not consistent with the following implementation items in the Centerton comprehensive plan, and those are listed in your packet.
Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open it up to the public? With that, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for zone 2603, RMC 102, Centerton LLC with a request from A1 to C2.
Tony, make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? We are open to the public. If anyone wishes to speak, have any questions, comments, in regards to rezone 2603, we'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name, address, and any questions, comments, concerns you might have. Second call for anyone that wishes to speak. And third and final call. And then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. Is anyone opposed? All right, let's go through what we need to consider. And again, this is from A1 to C2. The first one is the rezoning consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan, including the adopted land use plan. If not, why? And I do think that it is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Does anybody disagree with that? The second is the proposed rezoning compatible with the surrounding area and zones. And there is a mix in this area with, of course, commercial across the street. So I feel as though it is compatible. Does anybody disagree with that? Would all the permitted uses in this new zone be compatible in this location and the surrounding areas? And again, based on the goal of C2, I think that The permitted uses would be compatible. Does anybody disagree with that? Would the rezoning provide a benefit to this landowner but not be considered for other similar properties in this area? And again, I do not think that it does. We would go through the same process for each parcel of land. Does anybody disagree with that? And if the public is opposed, why? And there were no questions, comments, or concerns from anyone in the public. With that, I would entertain a motion for rezone 2603 RMC 102 LLC with the rezone request from A1 to C2.
This has been, I'll make a motion to approve rezone 2603 RMC 102 Centerton LLC, rezone A1 to C2.
Motion and a second. If you'll do a roll call for me, please.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Devin Murphy. Aaron Kubota,
Yes.
Tony Davis. John Sessoms,
Yes.
Ben Lewis. Jeff Seifarth.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you. Good luck.
Another one somewhere.
It'll come. All right, next on the agenda this evening is subdivision 2508 Magnolia Landing, phase 3. Final plat and bonds. This is the north side of Vaughn Road. It is zoned R3 single family, 22.5 acres, 78 buildable lots, 1 unbuildable lot with 78 dwelling units.
Hello again, Dustin Higgins with Half, here to represent Magnolia Phase 3. 78 single retention or 1 retention pond, and then tract H is being separated for Phase 4. Here to answer any questions if you have.
Kayla?
Yes, so this subdivision is located along Vaughn Road and consists of 78 single-family lots and tracts G and H, which include a retention pond in phase 4 of the subdivision. The density of phase 3 is 3.46 acres. There are minor outstanding comments on the plat. Record drawings have been approved by staff pending review by Centerton Utilities. I take that back. Centerton Utilities approved the as-built. So the as-built are fully approved. There are just some minor comments left in the plat. And the site has passed final inspection. So one thing to note with this subdivision is that the developer has stated that they would like to build all of the lots within Magnolia Landing as single family. Instead of some of the lots being built as duplex, there is like a small section of the subdivision that's zoned for duplex. So due to that change, they had to go back through the contractor that is and remove all of the extra utility service connections installed for lots 116 through 126. And then Utilities re-inspected the site to make sure that everything was put back the way it needed to go. The covenants were approved with phase 1. The property is not located within a designated floodplain and there are no wetlands present on site. For the streets, Vaughn Road, which is a minor arterial, the 45 feet of right-of-way that's required was dedicated with phase 1. And the road was improved with phase 1 already. South Tycoon Road, which is a major arterial, the 50 feet of right-of-way along the entire subdivision was dedicated with phase 1 and all of those road improvements. They were done in so when phase 1 was built, they did the part along phase 1. When phase 2 was built, they did the part along phase 2. And then with phase 3, all of the rest of the improvements were supposed to be done. But they just went to the phase line of phase 3 and they've put up a performance bond for the rest of Tycoon Road to be done with phase 4. And then for Goodlet Road, that's a major collector with 40 feet of right-of-way being dedicated along phase 1, and the rest of those improvements for Goodlet will be done with phase 4. So the warranty bond estimates for streets, drainage, water, and sewer have been approved, and we're just waiting for updated bond language before they're issued. And then performance bonds have been proposed for a pond aerator for the pond in phase 3 and the remaining improvements to South Tycoon Road. So as I said before, we're reviewing the drafts of the bonds. Those bond amounts are listed in your packet for you. Street drainage bond is 50% of the total cost for 2 years. The water and sewer warranty bond is 50% for 1 year. And then the performance bond for South Tycoon. Is for the section between Merrill and Goodlet. That has not been complete. And then the pond aerator is for, there's a retention pond in phase 3 that didn't get a pond aerator installed, so that they're asking if that be installed with phase 4 when they could get electrical or some kind of solar to it. Because the original plan with that pond did not have an aerator. The final plat has some minor outstanding comments, and the record drawings and drainage report have been approved by staff. And all compaction tests have been approved by the building department. So happy to answer any questions.
Questions or? Yes.
I have a question. So this subdivision will be all single family. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you intending to rezone the duplex, the R3 duplex back to R3 single family, so we don't have confusion later with it being rezoned duplex? People will come in, buy the lot and go, oh, I want to do another. I think it will greatly avoid confusion later if we go ahead and rezone it back to single family.
Is that not a requirement to build
Well,
a single family?
Technically.
No. There,
Zoning allows both, right? Is that
pardon?
understanding is the zoning allows both? Per the way.
It does, but it's when you have a subdivision like this, there's areas where if it's, if you have these, I think it's just gonna be a problem later, that if they're designated as a duplex, that people are, it affects when they, also, appraise your lot, that it's a duplex lot, the zoning. I just think it would be much clearer. And we know that there's only supposed to be one tap on this instead of it zoned for a duplex. And someone will come back in and try to split the house into a duplex or something.
Something else Centerton Utilities said is that switching, whether it's gonna be a duplex or single family after it's gone into construction, makes it much more difficult for them knowing what kind of utilities are supposed to be in place. Especially for subdivisions like this, where in phase 2, some of those lots did get platted as duplex. And the utility mains are in the road. So if you want to remove that extra utility to only build a single family, you're gonna have to tear up the road to do that.
Well, they've worked out. They had
They
a
worked it
meeting
out
and
this
worked it
time,
out.
but in the future, I don't know that Centerton Utilities will be as able to work knowing that now. If that makes sense.
I'm not saying hold up final plat, but I would make that. I recommend making that request to y'all to rezone those lots.
How many lots is it?
There's 116 through 126.
It's like 10 lots.
I pulled that from memory, so I could be wrong, but I think it was in.
So 11.
You're about right. I think you're about right. Lots.
Is that something that we could discuss? Like in a meeting later on?
Sure. Sure. But I mean, I'd like the planning commission to weigh in on this, but.
Well, I mean, we're not able to look at final plot. Are we? If you're gonna rezone that, then that prevents your final plot, doesn't it?
I was about to ask, the setbacks would be
A little bit different, because the duplex, I think we changed it so that it can be closer to the street, didn't we change the setback?
Are the setbacks different on the
On the multifamily, it's different. The R3 MF, it's 10 feet on the signs, but single family and duplex are both 7. They're the same. They all have the same front and rear. It's just the multifamily has the 10-foot side.
So the layout won't change, is your question, right?
Yeah, would the layout change if you moved that? I thought we did a variance for the frontage. Well, since they were duplex.
No, we didn't do a variance in the subdivision, I don't believe. No.
I mean, the good thing is your notification is just yourself. Right?
You own a lot, yeah. I mean,
I'm just thinking through the complexity of
somebody
it.
living there, so you.
I know there's some paperwork, but they can work, you, I don't know, that's up to these guys. I do think it does make it cleaner, but I'm just a vote of one, so.
I do think it would create, I agree with Lorraine, it would create some confusion later on for you.
Even if, so the zoning is single family or duplex, is that right?
One or the other.
I mean, the services have been removed already.
So they don't really allow for single family duplex.
Right, they're only
So
gonna
they're only going to allow for single family. So that's why I'm saying it. It should be clarified with the zoning, what it actually can be built on the law. And
So
it's single
here-
family only. not-
Here's where I think they're saying, let's say you guys build all single family homes. Get it, but let's say that I would come in and buy one. And I'm like, well, gosh, this is zoned as multifamily, so I want to divide it into two. It's gonna create a lot of problems.
Divide my house into two
And
lots.
they're gonna argue with you, and then they're gonna come and argue with the city. That, hey, this thing is zoned as this, why can't I do it? And then they don't have utilities, and I think it would be cleaner
Yes.
if you could do the R3 single family specifically. Yeah, and.
When they tear it down and say, I'm gonna build a duplex here, and you're gonna say, well, you can say, well, yeah, I can, because it's zoned this way.
And there's nothing you can do.
Provided the utilities for it.
Is there an avenue where we could proceed with the final plat approval?
I think we can probably do the final plat, but there may be a contingency on you guys rezoning it. And then if you guys have your meeting and say no, then we're back here again. So there's a chance we either see you again or you guys agree to do it and then we don't see you again.
It doesn't look like it changes your layout at all. I mean, no difference in setbacks or anything like that. So you're not gaining lots, you're not losing lots. You're just saying you're limiting it to single family instead of both.
And I am dropping a bomb on them at the meeting. I mean, it just.
She won't pay you for that advice. We won't charge you for it.
I live on a lot that was changed. And it's a pain every once in a while when the three of us neighbors decide to try to do something to go back and figure out as it was changed later on. So the cleaner we are, I do agree that I think it's better, but it doesn't hold us up tonight, I don't think.
I think it protects you actually later on.
What I heard you just say is that we could vote yes for this tonight.
With a
contingent upon
contingency.
Rezone.
Contingency upon those lots being, rezoned to single family.
It's not a problem.
I think in this circumstance, that's fine.
What?
I think in this circumstance, I think we can do that.
And then if they come back and you have your discussion, they say, no, we don't want single family, then we table it, bring back.
And we can add a note on the plat that those lots will be rezoned for SF.
That they were platted to be built as single family. I think part of that note's already on there, that all lots within the subdivision were constructed and platted for single family building.
Would you be able to send that? What wording you want along with the comments that we received today? Okay.
Okay. That makes sense to everybody?
I'll make that motion if it's clean. So any questions come back?
Can you remind me and probably help some others, you can build a single family house on a duplex lot?
Yeah.
Can't go
You
there.
can't.
Because it's.
The lower use.
But then after you build that single family, if it's zoned that way, you can say, change my mind.
What we're running into, we're gonna have to really start designating what those lots are because it causes issues for the utilities connections. Because if it's a duplex, they'll put in 2 taps, and then if they build a single family, they've got to remove one. In this case, they had
Lot
to.
of just no time and money.
And this one was worse because the main line is in the road. So they were gonna have to take it back, clear back under the road, take up the road. They worked it out with Centerton Utilities and are only taking it back to the edge of the road.
There's not a way to have a cleaner break, like if it is a duplex and you can't build single family? Prevent that, or is that on us, or is that just what happens? Like, that's just part of it.
Well, they requested duplex and they built.
I get that, but like, if it says duplex, how do we allow them to? Some kind of rule or statement we could say like, have to build a duplex and
Well,
That's what the rezone is.
where we need to
Done with it.
state what we allow.
they don't have to rezone to build a single family. You know what I'm saying? They can,
But they have to rezone to restrict building a duplex.
but they can build a single family without rezoning. They can build a single family on a duplex. How do you prevent them from building a single family on a duplex so that you're not in this situation again?
The main place where it comes into play is in the downtown area where we have R3 MF. And which is the multifamily, but it's still, so you can have up to 4 units. You can also have duplexes, you can have triplexes, and you can have single family because it's a mix.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to understand, like
That's where
using why you can take a duplex.
that,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and like, there was one subdivision and I thought it was confusing because it's all duplex. Except one lot where it was kind of like, they ended up with a little piece, so they put a single family. And
That's helpful.
kind of an odd duck. Which we didn't, I don't know, that's something that we need to work on our code also. Because it is difficult for us, it's very difficult for the utilities knowing what's gonna be built.
Any other comments or discussion? If not, then I would entertain a motion for subdivision 2508 Magnolia Landing, phase 3. With that includes the final plat, the warranty bonds, and the performance bonds, along with the rezone to single family.
This is John, I'll motion to approve subdivision 2508 final plot and bonds. Contingent upon the rezoning of those applicable lots from duplex to single family or planning comments.
Second.
Am I the only one that agrees?
We have a motion and a second. Is there anyone that's opposed? All right, thank you guys. Good luck.
Guess not, but you got, I guess you just gotta.
On your own.
Sorry, man, I tried. Sorry.
Sweat it out, sweat it out.
All right, our next, the next council meeting will be 4/14. And our next planning commission meeting will be 4/21. If you will not be present, please let us know. And there's a tech review meeting on the 16th, which is before the next meetings. Anything else from staff?
The staff has been really busy with work on several revisions. One problem leads into another problem. So schedule of uses, very close, is giving you the final draft. Or not final draft, but the latest draft, going over those. We're also working on accessory structures, which will include ADUs and the new laws that pertain to those. And then short-term rental, getting something in the books on requirements for short-term rentals. And then we worked on the small cell. We had an application for 7 small cell communication towers. So we had to work up an application for that.
We get pumped.
Staff has been very busy on all these other things. There will also be some code changes, like some fixes in the zoning districts. And so for like the setbacks for I2, which is heavier, 25 feet. For I1 is 50 feet. It doesn't make sense. It's gotten crossed. The size, there's just some weird things. So we're gonna do some quick Band-Aids. It won't be There will be a lot of them though. I know. It's gonna be trauma. It's just, it's gonna be the trauma unit.
Gosh.
We're triaging for sure.
Caleb, when do you expect an update on the new downtown?
We were hoping to have the website, the survey and the phase one deliverables done the next week or two, hopefully have all of that live. That's what I'm hoping for. And then we'll schedule the community input. I think we have it draft slated for June. And those will have a draft plan for people to actually comment on. So, and we have some internal staff review dates scheduled in April and May as well. So things are about to start moving.
Want me any of those, just, I need to get ahead of it, please. Oh, I haven't gotten anything in the meantime.
Steering committee, for all the steering committee members, I'll be sending an update to them soon.
Okay.
So you'll get those.
Okay, and maybe we should send them the new updated schedule.
All stuff.
Yes, no. Phase one. Okay, we've got some things to send to you too. It's
Have a comment on annexation, so I'm gonna put that in the minutes.
your annexation is now in, on my desk. I just need, I need to add a property owner. Matt's checking on a couple of things and then we'll.
I was teasing, Christian. You don't gotta put that in the minutes.
We know where John will be next time. Sit in the back.
I object.
If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, if anyone opposed,